Hey, it's Jen Thoden with YourColorStyle.com, and in this video we're going to talk about the color brown. So I've had many requests on how to tell between a warm brown versus a cool brown. The reason that this is important is that if you have warm undertones, then warm browns are going to look great on you, and if you have cool undertones, then cool undertones will look good on you. That also means that cool browns on someone with warm undertones won't look very flattering, and warm browns on someone with cool undertones, again, won't look very flattering. So you really want to align that with your natural coloring and tone. So we're going to talk about the color brown and what makes it cool, what makes it warm, and then give you some visuals so you can start to identify those browns to find which ones look best on you. So this is the color brown. Let's talk about that. When we're looking at the color wheel, if we were to try to find brown on the color wheel, we'd probably find it over here in the orange area. You can actually see that 4A here is a brown. So one way to get brown is to add black to orange. So orange is already a natural color. You're adding black to it. Adding black will mute and cool orange a little bit, but really you're still going to get this chocolate brown, this warm brown. So that is one way to get brown. And so if that is the way that if you see these golden browns here, those are likely warm browns coming from orange with black added. However, there's other ways to make brown. There's another way that you can make brown, and that is by mixing a primary color with a secondary color. Primary would be red, yellow, and blue, and the secondary would be its complement, the color that's directly across from the primary, and it's a secondary color, meaning you took two primary colors and mixed them together. So red, which is a primary, plus green, which is a secondary. It's created from yellow and blue. If you look up here on the color wheel, one is red, and when you look across the color wheel, you see green. Okay, so it's complement. So red plus green will make brown. Okay, so if you have a red paint and green paint and you mix them 50-50, you're going to get brown. It's the same with blue plus orange. Blue is the primary, orange is a secondary color. It is made with yellow and red. Again, if you look over here on the color wheel, orange is 4 and across is blue, which is 13. Okay, it's the complement and also the secondary. When you mix 50-50, you get brown. And the same for yellow and purple. Yellow is the primary, purple is the secondary. It's made with blue and red. Okay, so you have all three colors making brown. So how do we make it cool or warm? Now keep in mind that if you had the perfect amount of paint to mix these colors, you will have a fairly neutral brown, meaning that it's not really too warm or too cool, and it's a brown that anybody can wear, okay? And it looks kind of like this. But how do you make it so that it is now cool or warm? And it's when you tip the scale from 50-50, 50% primary plus 50% secondary. If you tip the scales in any direction by adding just a tiny bit of color, you're going to make that brown cool or warm. So let me show you. So in the center here, you have the neutral brown. It's the even parts of primary and secondary. But let's say that we add a little bit of blue, just a little bit more blue, and it starts to cool that brown off, and you see it almost becomes like a purpley taupe almost. Now, if you see it here in line with these other browns, you can go, oh my gosh, it looks almost purple. It's going blue, which is true. However, if you were to see it just this one color on its own in the store, it wouldn't convey as purple. It's going to actually look brown to you. The trick is to learn the skill and practice to see that, oh wait, that brown has a little bit of a blue hue to it. It's a cool brown. And then if we add yellow, which is a warm color, to brown, you can see that it starts to become very golden, starts to lean towards the mustards almost, the camel browns. Those are all very warm colors, very warm browns. Has a lot of yellow in it now. This brown now has blue, red, and yellow. So it's starting to really tip the scales over into the warm side. And these are the golden browns over here. All right. Then we can do the same thing with the reds and the blues. So again, nothing changes here on the left-hand side. I just showed you. You add blue, and it's going to cool it off. You can also add red to brown and tip the scales and start to get these burgundy colors almost, and almost to burnt oranges. Now, right now, burnt orange is not necessarily brown. But again, if you see a brown in the store that has a more warm reddish tint to it, it's still brown, but now it gives you more of a burnt color, a burnt red feel, and that's a warm brown. And then we could do just the comparison for you for the yellow and the red. These are all versions of a warm brown. Just one is more yellow and golden, and one is more red and almost like a burnt color, a burnt red. So then you can add white to lighten and black to darken. So that was just kind of a true level brown, really no black or white added. So if we add white to it, you're going to start to see those beiges and taupes that you see. And those are still considered browns, if you will. They're still considered neutrals. They're just lighter shades, right? And if you add black, you're going to get those dark browns. And so in this case, we have the blue. So we have these cool taupes here, almost gray over here on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, when we add white, you start to get those beiges, not like a khaki beige, that kind of color, right? And over here, when you add black to it, you almost get an olive green down here and going down to like a deep, almost mauve purple brown over here. They're all still considered browns. You see them independently, you're going to say, oh, that's brown. But now you can start to see that these on the left are for people with cool undertones, and these on the right are for people with warm undertones. And I created the slides for all of these. So again, the white added, the blue, nothing changes here from the previous slide, but you can see here on the red, we start to go more into the pinky beiges, okay? Again, still fairly warm. And then down here, you can compare from the yellow to the red, okay? So that is brown. That's how you tell between cool brown and warm brown. The warm brown is going to have a yellow tint to it or a red tint to it, and a cool brown is going to have a blue tint to it. Sometimes it's hard to tell when you're in the store, honestly. And if it is, you should have your color fan to help you kind of compare and see if it's close to what you have in your color fan or if it's just very, very different. So you can always get your color fans at color-fans.com. They have your neutrals in them. You can also, if you're not really sure what undertones you have, there is a quiz you can take. It's absolutely free, and it's out at yourcolorstyle.com/quiz, and it'll walk you through to help you understand if you have warm undertones or cool undertones, so you can decide which shade of brown is going to work for you. So I hope that helps.